I need supports to have to clear the room. Stand up and walk now.
Hello and welcome to The Watch. My name is Chris Ryan. I am an editor at TheRinger.com, and joining me in the studio, he's a Ree Drummond recipe. It's Andy Greenwald.
I love marshmallows.
Woo! It's cheese.
Oh.
Andy, we are going to be talking about the new HBO show Task today.
The show we were born to talk about.
The show where if you cut my arm open, Task would spill out.
Just future episodes.
It's set in Delco, outside of Philadelphia. It stars Mark Ruffalo and Tom Pelphrey. It is a crime show. It's what we do the podcast for, days like this. But first 15 minutes of just uninterrupted banter.
First, we have to welcome back our number one, Kaya.
Hello, I'm back.
We missed you. You had a beautiful vacation.
Yeah, did you guys know that Italy is, incredible?
Yeah, but first of all, we know it. Chris and I don't, take vacations.
I do.
But I don't take vacations, but I like to watch other people's vacations. And I just want to commend you, Kaya, for doing it right. Anyone apparently can just go to southern Italy and get on a boat. You went northern Italy. Beautiful vistas, hiking, crisp alpine wines.
Yes.
It looked amazing.
It was incredible. I had some incredible local deer goulash.
Ooh.
You know what you don't want is deer goulash that's traveled.
No, I don't.
You know what I mean?
No.
This deer is from Missouri.
This is no.
Yeah, had some, one of the great things about hiking in Italy, and I think also throughout a lot of Europe, is that they have these things called refugios. And I also just really like the European mentality of putting a bar absolutely everywhere you can.
And it's a lot of honor bars stuff.
Yes.
In Europe.
Yes.
And are you honorable?
So you can hike for 5 miles or so and then take a little rest at a gorgeous mountain hut and have some delicious food and a local beer. And I think America should put that into practice.
Yeah.
I think it would go great. We are just a country that knows how to respect limits
what
and
if
ourselves
we brought
and each other.
USAID back, but it was just for refugios?
Oh, but the D stood for draft.
Yeah. For ice cold.
Kaya, is it appropriate to congratulate you on your other vacation news as well?
Yes, which I'm really glad that I'm announcing on this podcast before
and not Amy Poehler.
before I've, posted on Instagram or anything. But yes, I did get engaged.
We're going to have a watch wedding. Yay! Kaya, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited.
Congrats, Kaya.
Kaya, have you thought...
Congrats to you, man.
Me?
Yeah.
So what did I do?
Just you're a very warm and loving person.
I'm so excited about this, but mostly I'm excited about, and you don't need to answer this today, but I am curious about what kind of marathon 12 days of Christmas just grind you're going to put these bridesmaids on after what they put you through over the last 5 to 6 years.
Right. It's the fucking Revenge of the Sith.
This is what I'm saying. No one, as far as I can tell, has ever been a better wedding attendee than you,
They
Kaya.
owe you.
Yeah, I'm also I'm up on deck to be a bridesmaid at least once more in the next.
You could do the bachelor. I mean, you could go to Tahiti for your bachelorette, and they would have to pay.
They would have to pay all of it. Think big is what we're saying.
Yeah, the world, the sky is my limit right now, so we'll see.
Is this a fun bit where you, instead of I don't know, a wedding planner, you just ask these 2 late 40s guys that you work with to just really weigh in on all the important issues? I'm just pitching it.
How are you, man?
I don't go on vacation, so I am definitely available. Okay, I'm great, thanks. How are you? How was your weekend?
Well. It was good.
We learned something. Well, I learned something about you that I didn't know recently because, football's back and we watched football together. It was very nice. I don't think I really understood that you, in order to engage emotionally with a sporting event, instantly pick someone to be your person.
Yeah, to root for.
Always.
Even all day on Red Zone, I'm I don't gamble.
Yeah.
But I emotionally gamble.
So I kind of did that yesterday. I was experimenting with the 4-box a little bit. And then what was weird is because, I'm, you just said a nice version of it, but I am emotionally fragile. And so within, I don't know, a span of 2 hours, my beloved Jets lost.
That was so weird.
All these teams. Well, because fuck Aaron Rodgers, honestly. And I wanted Sean to be happy, so he would be nice to us when the Mets come to Philadelphia this week. But it was emotionally intense to suddenly passionately be my beautiful Texans or whatever. But you just roll with it.
I think that you and I have different definitions of emotional connection. You know what I mean? I think that for me, it's when it's over, I forgot it even happened. But you're like, this is now ripple affecting, it's rippling across my entire Sunday.
It's
I
true.
can't digest my meal now. I'm so
I tossed and
heartbroken
turned
that
all
CJ
night.
Stroud might not be capital H him, Yeah.
It was hard for me. Thank you. I
Yeah.
thought Cam Ward's dad was me.
But sometimes you wind up finding yourself in a corner that you can't fight your way out of, which is the Amanda Anisimova corner that I found myself in.
So just a little disclosure. So we had the group chat. When I say we had the group chat over, you and Zach came over to watch the Eagles.
Yeah.
It was a super weird night, but we were happy we won. But there was this hour and a half lightning break, which did cause 3 men in their 40s to suddenly lose the ability to know what to do. Like, both you guys immediately stood up and started pacing.
No, we were both like, well, we're going to leave.
We're going to leave. And I was like, please don't go. Like, my whole Thursday is devoted to this.
Yeah.
Don't leave me alone.
Yeah.
And then it was very nice. I don't know whether you had eye contact, but you decided to stay.
We watched the U.S. women's semifinal.
And then and Zach was like, as a longtime tennis fan, it's great to see Naomi back on her bullshit. Like, we're all rooting for her. And you were like, not me. I only see 1 stars and bars on the screen right now, son. And you suddenly became the number one Anisimova fan in the world.
Yeah. I mean, then she gets smoked on Saturday.
And then you just quietly back away. You just walk away like it never happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's the discipline, as Robert De Niro said in Heat,
Oh, that's incredible. That's who you get it from. My last thing was, and Kai, please feel free to weigh in on this as well, but like, I found what I believe to be the last pure corner of the internet this weekend.
Yeah? What's that?
It is the Reddit group devoted to sparkling water. There are 40,000 members.
And you're really pushing it, man.
No, listen. Listen, we're going to talk about Task. It's great. It's on HBO.
It's just like, I'm all for this, but sometimes I'm like, we are pushing into the
know your thoughts on
realms
this,
of the absurd.
Like, do you think, I guess my question is, do you think that a beautiful pocket of peace can still exist? Because I spent a little time in it. And people were like,
because now that you've said it, honestly,
blow up with like
100 new dudes are going to go to the seltzer
it'd be like,
Reddit
fuck your tariffs.
and be like, I can't believe you guys don't acknowledge this is the best seltzer.
No, but what's incredible about it is someone was just like, oh, I've never had Waterloo because I don't live that way. And someone was like, what do you mean by that? And the person wrote, it's $3.99 more than Polar. And they were like, thank you. And then someone else was like, Rambler is amazing. I love the lime and berry flavor. And someone responded, thank you. I helped develop that flavor during COVID for my friends who founded the company. Fun tip. There's a bit of mint essence in it so you can make it at home. And they were like, that sounds wonderful. And the guy was like, no problem. Enjoy. It was so pure.
I imagine you sitting at a table wearing like a tucked in button down, scrolling and being like,
yeah, I was actually at a children's playground with no children doing that on a laptop.
Cool.
It was really cool. It was really cool. What's amazing is I was like, Kaya, feel free to weigh in on this. And she's just completely into wedding planning over there. She's fine.
She's like, how much would it cost to go to the moon for your bachelorette?
All right, fine.
SpaceX rentals.
I had a nice weekend thanks to this. So, okay, whatever. We could talk about a great TV show now if you want.
The Watch at Spotify.com, the Watch Pod _ on Instagram, the Ringer TV YouTube channel, and you can also watch us and listen to us on Spotify after 8 minutes.
You watch. We're going to get an email this week being like, hi, I'm the guy that invents flavors for Rambler Sparkling Water. Longtime listener. You wait.
And then I'm going to write him back as you and be like, I don't live that way.
I can't live your life. Never could be me.
Greenwald, do you want to talk at all about the Creative Arts Emmys before we get into Task? Just because
you love the Creative Arts Emmys.
I didn't know these existed.
Yeah,
I didn't know we had spillover awards.
You didn't? You don't remember? Like, there's always in the award shows the moment where they're like, they invite someone who's like mid-list celeb.
Yeah, but I always thought
like,
that was like
the pleasure of giving away the
guy
editing
who
awards.
pulled the dolly on Andor. Yeah, but these are like pretty significant categories we had. These will be aired on Hulu on Saturday. I think the actual Emmys are on Sunday, correct?
Yeah, hosted by my guy, Nate Bargatze.
Your boy.
Listen, I had a great weekend. I watched sports. I listened to Nate Bargatze comedy. And I read content about sparkling water. I'm doing fine. I think America's going, okay.
You definitely seem like you're doing fine.
I'm doing great.
I look at these awards, and what I'm seeing is, and I guess if you don't want the Saturday night Hulu broadcast spoiled for you, you might want to skip ahead to Task. I look at these awards and I see something that immediately leaps out at me, which is a huge groundswell of inter-town love, inter-Hollywood love for the Apple series, The Studio.
Who would have thought of coming that the industry would fall in love with itself?
I am surprised. I mean, like, you know, it's not like Robert Altman's The Player was celebrated, but I think that the ultimate essence of The Studio is sort of something that Hollywood probably would like love to believe about itself now, that even though we're under these trying circumstances and maybe not doing the kind of work we want to be doing, like there's still something magic. The funny thing about it is about movies. And this is like for the TV.
That's a great call. That's another reason why I think it is a little bit guilt-free for the Television Academy to celebrate it, right? Because it's like, well, we are where all the good writing and acting went in movies, right? Yeah. We are where the true stories are told. Also, to your point, I think The Player was a touch more scabrous, if I may, in The Studio, which presents a generally positive, if bumbling, if still somehow optimistic view towards this town. I thought this was an interesting night. Well, there was a wide breadth of winners from a bunch of different shows, categories. I think the main takeaway for the big show next week, the narratives are pretty set, I think, which is the comedy Emmys are the studio's to lose. I think the studio cleaned up last night. I think it's going to do extremely well next week and probably win Best Comedy. And the drama stuff is a rock fight between The Pit and Severance. Yeah. I'm not here to pick sides. I thought it was awesome that Sean Hatosi.
You know what?
We got it right once, and then now it's just one of those things we'll never know how to do it right.
Yeah, it's basically the sort of like the Mariano Rivera of The Pit. The guy who comes in and closes it.
Yes.
Sean Hatosi.
He won for guest actor, although I think he's up to main cast for season 2. But the great Mara Weaver won for guest acting in Severance. Totally agree with that.
Yep.
Loved her scenes. Elevated everything she was in. And Severance won other things that it's very hard to argue with, like cinematography. Like that's a beautifully shot show.
Jessica Gagne? Is that the cinematographer?
Jessica Gagne, yeah, who also directs on the show. I think the Pee Wee Herman documentary, which we didn't ever discuss. I don't think you watched it. Was excellent, that one.
You know what I don't think we even ever discussed either is the news that Ben Stiller would not be directing on season 3 of Severance.
We mentioned it, I think, during one of the classic Kaya and Andy shows.
Yeah, one of you guys just batting around headlines.
But I think we both had a little skeptical, okay, we'll see.
Okay.
I think he said that before.
Oh, has he?
But, you know, we saw him in the crowd at the U.S. Open, and he did not look like he was directing season 3, so maybe
all of the U.S. Open was an episode of Severance, and Amanda Anisimova actually won it.
What? That's so good. I thought it was cool that, Andor won a bunch of awards.
Yeah.
Adolescence won casting, which, I mean, yes.
Sure.
That is a correct choice to win that. The only thing, Righteous Gemstones won for stunt coordination, I guess, for some, nude fighting.
Sure.
But I was kind of bummed. Like, Studio won for costuming, which it deserves. Those suits are awesome, and everybody has a real visually distinct identity on the show. Kind of wanted Righteous Gemstones to win for costumes because...
For Baby Billy?
Well, for all of them.
All of them, yeah.
But, you know, generally this was a nice night to celebrate, like, the editors and the people who don't usually get the celebrations. And although, I guess we'll celebrate them on Hulu in a week.
I don't really have a lot of... the only thing I would say about the Creative Arts Emmys is that they have a lot of categories. And that those categories are divided up so that it's almost hard not to win an Emmy. If you're not, no, because they break things down into fantasy series, and I'm like, okay, well,
and here's a category: outstanding period or fantasy sci-fi makeup, non-prosthetic division. House the Dragon. Congratulations. Interestingly, House the Dragon was up against Monsters, but not like Monsters, the Godzilla universe. Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez universe, because that's period.
Oh,
but so the Dragons and the Monsters, none of them were wearing big fake penguin noses, because that won for prosthetics.
Right, the penguin did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this is good content. So sparkling water is bad, but me being prosthetics on dragons, that's good.
It will be interesting to see how much the actual Sunday night Emmys wind up mirroring the voting tendencies that we saw displayed onto Creative Arts. That was my main takeaway.
Do you feel that Frasier...
Big night for the studio coming, I imagine.
Do you feel like the reboot of Frasier's win for outstanding picture editing in a multi-camera comedy series is further proof that show was ended too soon?
I would like to know who won that, like if there's an individual, and if they like secretly are on like their 51st straight win for that. Like, is there a...
Like, oh, do you think that he continued to win this award?
Is there a Tom Brady of in-pictures editing?
But like, even when Frasier was off air,
yeah, just like he's been
winning?
James Burrows' guy since like 82, and he's just the GOAT.
Yes. I mean, probably. Now I'm Googling, but probably. I can't call it up fast enough, but so I guess there's no way to ever know. Should we get a stat boy?
Are you on dial-up? Like, why isn't it coming up fast enough?
Well, because like...
Are you looking for historically? I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Anyway, can't wait. Emmy is always my favorite night of the year. No.
You're going to have to watch Nate Bargatze for 2 hours.
What's Sunday Night Football next week?
I don't know.
I can't remember where they were going. I think
Again, no way to find out.
That was Russell Griffin who won that Frasier.
Russell Griffin.
Russ.
Let's see how many Emmys my guy has.
Okay.
I'm going over under. I'm going over 3.
Here he is winning. It's a beautiful picture of him. I don't know.
Okay.
Still don't know. No, he won last year.
I had a feeling.
For How I Met Your Father.
Oh, he must be the guy.
He's the guy. He's the guy. That's awesome. What a cool career. Just be like, you need this multicam comedy edited? Call Russ. Big Russ.
Let's talk about Task, which premiered last night. It's a 7-episode.
He's only won twice, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Task, which premiered last night on HBO. It's a 7-episode limited series from Brad Ingelsby, who is the creator and writer of Mare of Easttown.
I think we need to do one just PSA for our listeners who I assume do, follow us in terms of our viewing and our watching habits. Don't be like me. If you haven't watched Task yet, be sure to open up HBO Max and change audio settings away from Polish.
Yes, I had the same problem.
Because
it's
if
almost
you've been
like
watching Eastern Gate.
I have a ghost in the machine where I have watched several things on HBO Max since Eastern Gate, but every once in a while they just switch back to sweet, sweet Polish.
And it hits different. When it's
really
just like one Polish guy doing all the parts in Task.
It's also stripped of its, Delco accents.
It is.
So it's pretty funny.
It is. And so it did make me more attuned to the plight of the Polish viewers of Task who are really missing out a lot of the nuance. But anyway.
The first episode is called Crossings. It was written by Brad Ingelsby. It's directed by Jeremiah Zagar, who did Hustle.
And is also from Philly.
And is from Philly. The show stars Mark Ruffalo, Tom Pelphrey, Emilia Jones, who you might remember from Coda.
If you remember from Coda, you are not prepared for her in this.
Raul Castillo.
From Looking.
Yeah, from Looking.
Love him.
And then Fabian Frankel and Allison Oliver and Thuso Mbedu, who's very good in this. We're going to talk a lot about the performances. I don't really know if people need a recap of like the plot, but broadly speaking, Ruffalo plays this guy named Tom Brandis, who's an FBI agent who's been kind of put out to pasture.
For personal reasons.
For personal reasons. Yet to be totally understood family tragedy, although you can kind of get little signs there. He has 2 kids that we see. One is in prison. The other wants little to do with him.
And the third one is the
third
source
one
of
is yeah. And the wife is not there.
In the Wind.
In the Wind.
She's filming another season of The Killing, it looks like.
He's left... He was a former priest, and he left the church for a life of law enforcement and spends most of his time drinking heavily out of a Phillies commemorative cup and bird watching.
Yeah.
And then Kathleen McGinty, a cop, I assume only because that shot of the building is Philly Police Headquarters. But maybe she is. I know she refers to special agent in charge, so I suppose she's an FBI agent. They just like the building.
I think that's the case.
Gives him the assignment to run a task force of local, state, and federal law enforcement to find out who is robbing the drug stash houses of a Montgomery County biker gang called the Dark Hearts.
Hell yeah.
McGinty wants Tom to find out who is doing this and stop them before a gang war breaks up on the other side.
Monco gang war. Hello.
On the other side of
great.
that heat coin, Robbie is a sanitation worker who moonlights by hitting stash houses in Delaware County. He lives with some combination of his and his late brother's children in his late brother's home
It's a nice
with
home.
Robbie's niece, Maeve, who's played by Emilia Jones, functioning as like the beleaguered matriarch in his
At age 20.
At age
or 21, as she reminds him, 21.
Robbie is longing for human connection. But what he has is a co-conspirator named Cliff, played by Raul Castillo, a guy named Peaches, who might as well have lived forever tattooed on his neck,
I mean,
and a nose for where drugs and money are hidden. Tom assembles his team, which includes a state trooper named Lizzie, a young cop named Aaliyah, and a county detective named Anthony, and they move into a repossessed drug house, which looks, honestly... There's a lot of life in that house.
like I needed more reminders of the real estate mistake we're making constantly living out here.
At the end of the episode, after a robbery goes wrong for Robbie's crew, Peaches gets killed, as do several people living or visiting the drug house who are associated with the Dark Hearts.
Do you think they were Airbnb guests? I mean, visiting.
Just checking it out. Just checking out the bones.
Just signing the guest book.
Robbie and Cliff wind up leaving with a young kid named Sam and bring him back to Robbie's. And that is the first episode of Task.
Okay.
Hit me.
This show's so sick.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Was there any universe in which you and I would not like this show?
If there was, the universe dissipated the minute the show began with a KYW news break, and then Ruffalo, who to his credit is not doing an accent, fine, but he immediately hits for the cycle in one of his first scenes when he mentions Scrapple, shopping at Acme, and getting a water ice within like one burst. And then I was like, this show is so Philly coded and clear that things are going to get bad for him that the first bird he sees is a blue jay that might as well have Joe Carter tattooed across the front
just
of it.
Mitch Williams' ghost.
I know.
Yeah.
So, no, there was no way we weren't personally going to be responding very passionately to the show when Pelphrey emerges from the trap house with a child wrapped in an eagle's blanket. I was like, these are my own hopes and dreams, Robbie. Like, yeah.
Is that I may have a son and that he may come to me in an eagle's
It's like,
blanket.
one day I might have a child who likes football. Nope. But so we were on board.
Yeah.
But I think big picture, before we delve into the specifics, it is worth saying that Ingelsby is a working class bard of some sort. Like his reference points are so on point, both like in terms of plot structure and plot scaffolding, and like here are the pieces necessary for a affecting crime epic. Heat was mentioned, I think, when he pitched it. It's here in this on the screen this many years later. But that the details that motivate him aren't just the ones that motivate us. Like, oh, I used to shop at Acme too. It's the art direction and set dressing of the Robbie's house's kitchen. Just the type of ice cream in the fridge, what's in the sink, what the cookware, all the details are so specific that I feel instantly at home. Not literally because I'm from Montgomery County, but because this show is being crafted by people who care about the small stuff that makes the big stuff work.
This is what HBO does best, I think, historically, are these elevated crime shows. I think they've made seminal comedies, great original films, huge documentaries. Like there's lots of things that HBO does well, and we would probably broadly just describe, maybe not the invention of, but the perfection of prestige television for them. They've now delved into huge sword and sandal or sword and shield epics,
Non-prosthetic division,
and sci-fi and all these things. But I think at the end of the day, they know how to take a piece of pulp and put it up on the top shelf. And so that goes back to Oz and Sopranos and The Wire and True Detective and The Night Of and Mare and We Own This City. Like they work with really, really, really good writers and creators on this stuff, and they have the patience and the touch to kind of bring it to life. And they cast really, really, really well, and they will pay to go into the streets of Baltimore or go into the streets of Delaware and Montgomery County. So it feels real. And the thing I thought was coolest for me watching this is Ingelsby is going to be balancing the crime and the criminals and the cops. Like it's the first part is I think in some series, like say True Detective, you get really immersed in trying to figure out alongside the detectives what's going on. In this show, we kind of know what's going on. I'm sure there will be some wrinkles, there will be some hooks. I haven't watched too far ahead, but I think that this is more going to be a character study than it is going to be a mystery. And the thing that really was interesting to me is you mentioned Heat. And a lot of movies or stories about guys like this present the two main characters as samurais, untouched by...
There's a Japanese word for that. Should I say it?
Yeah.
They're Ronin.
They're walled off from the world, and they operate where they're just like, the only thing I really connect with is the work.
It's like you as a sports fan.
And I think that there will probably be some stuff about that, but what struck me is that the two main characters, Robbie and Tom, are like, I'm broken, but I'm longing for something. I'm longing for something, whether it's a connection with God, whether it's a connection with a partner, whether it's to rebuild my family. It's the desires of the characters are not to achieve professional perfection,
yes,
but to heal their personal wounds. And I thought that was really, really well done in this show.
These are movie archetypes, not only in a fallen world, but in a TV world. And I mean that in a very specific and positive way. Like, you can make people samurai in a movie when there's one task to accomplish and one, motivating event that causes momentum that leads to a tremendous finale. All the things that bring us actually through our lives, all the connections we make or the regrets we have or the holes where certain things should have been, those accrue around all of us at any point in our lives. But film can't always pay them enough real estate or enough lip service or enough time. These stories that Brad seems able to do so well work so much better on television because of the richness and the depth of field that he has to play with. Like, we joked a week ago about how this show probably wasn't going to be a laugh riot, right? But surprisingly, it is kind of funny at times. But what I found really, really amazing was that it wasn't like, trauma porn. It's just pre-devastating because we see people who are tenuously holding on to what they have, need a little bit more, and we are already pre-aware of how much they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And that kind of deep, like, midlife melancholy, shout out you and me, suffuses into every frame of it, Like,
shout out you and me.
It's going great. That I'm here for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect this to be celebratory, but I am here for the fact that from the beginning, the show foregrounds the emotional journey and the precarity of these characters as we meet them.
You think about that scene early in the episode when Robbie and Cliff are having their lunch break. They're sanitation workers who are kind of able to observe these different houses and look in the trash and find, what they're mixing their drugs with or whatever.
Robbie's doing that cool Apple knife shit.
That's right.
Cool guys do.
And they're talking about online dating. And even the sort of tone of that conversation is such a window into this guy's character, right? Like, what has happened that he's shut himself off? And even the way he's just like, look, I'm different than you. Like, I want to share my life with someone. I need somebody to be the other half of me.
Yeah.
That scene, which could just be like a little bit of character building, and I think this is what Ingelsby really, really, really does well, is he'll take pieces of character and put it into action. And so I am actually allergic to child endangerment. Not because I have like some protective instinct, but because I think it's like usually a very cheap way of kind of
yanking
pulling a lot of heartstrings and often like making it more of a 4-quadrant show because now this guy is like a protector or something. But you really do get the sense by seeing Robbie's home life, by understanding that there's at least one person, if not two people missing from that house, his partner and his brother. That he has lost things over the course of his life. Don't get the impression that his brother is dead because of like a car accident. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's like probably some choices he made over the course of his life.
They may have been involved. His brother.
And that kind of, all of that, it builds up and builds up. And then when you get to the end and he decides to bring this kid with him, you're like, I get it.
That's what this guy would do.
That's what this guy would do.
Yeah, there wasn't a moment.
He's already got like a fucking Peter Pan Village in his house. You know what I mean? Like he's already got like Neverland going. Like,
and he's got a hero complex.
Yeah.
Despite being the villain. I mean, there wasn't a moment, and I appreciated this. I think this was probably a delicate note to play. There was never a moment when I thought the kid's life was in danger in that scene. You know, where in other shows or other times we've seen scenes like this before that have gone very badly, you know, for the kid, let alone for our collective humanity as an audience member. Similarly, like I want to talk about Maeve in a second, but like there wasn't a moment when I was like, is Robbie creeping on his niece? Is there something inappropriate here? Like the show runs right at who he is and his relationship to these people in a way that I felt was non-manipulative. Just appreciating Ingelsby for another second, because I think that the pilot was so artfully constructed, and it didn't begin the way most shows begin now, which is with a very heavy-handed note from someone involved in the development process to hit him hard quickly, right?
Yeah.
Show the big event, show the thing, and then that's often why we get the 5 weeks earlier.
Nothing I dislike more.
Me too. And me either. And I loved the juxtaposition of these two guys starting their days in different ways, maybe with a similar kind of psychic pain.
And did you notice that opening sequence of their everyday behaviors was scored with this like surging symphonic music, which I thought was so...
Shout out Dan Deacon.
But I thought it was so great because it was like, this is the symphony of everyday life.
Yes.
Like this is the symphony of like the bullshit you do. You put out pamphlets, you pick up trash, you get your kids ready for school, they don't like you, whatever, you know? Like,
you go on. You stick your face in a sink full of ice water just to get the alcohol puffs away.
Yeah.
I promise you this is not a classic digression, but I'm reading a book that Kaya recommended.
Yeah.
Colored Television by Dan Zisena, which is really good so far. And early on in the book, the main character of the book is talking about her time teaching creative writing in colleges. And there's some advice that's given at one point, and the advice is make it worse. And I was thinking about that when I was thinking about how Brad builds these shows. Make it worse doesn't mean like stop being so precious with your adverbs. It means make the circumstances worse. Don't consider your characters necessarily to be your children or to be fictional avatars of your best interests and your best hopes and dreams. Turn the situations to 11, the Spinal Tap parlance, right? Make things as bad as they can be for them.
Yeah.
So you see how they fare, and also so you aren't hiding behind honestly, like your own writerly concern or optimism or hopes how you want to be communicated to the world. And he makes it worse.
Sure.
Like the litany of shit that these guys are dealing with right from jump. Like just to go through it again with Tom, it seems the implication is that he and his now no longer at home wife have, I believe, adopted children.
In the past, yeah.
In the past, they had 3 children. It appears that one child may have ended the life of the other directly or indirectly.
I think it's just a family tragedy, yeah.
There's some implication.
Yeah.
One is in prison and one is no longer with us.
Yes.
He is a fallen priest. He is on desk duty, right? Like he is listening to the Phillies on the radio, which, for a lot, depending what year the show is set, can often be a sort of calamitous experience.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like there's so many flip phones in this show because of the drug business that I can't tell what year it's set, but it's obviously after COVID and everything. Yeah.
Oh, right. So it's not the year where they were like, Scott Kingery is the future? Because there were some dark times in those years.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it were just when Tom gets this new job and he cleans the house and he turns on the radio and they're like, and Trey Turner's limping.
Chip Kelly looks like he's got it all figured out here.
God, that's worse.
Yeah.
I mean, what if it's now and he listens to Trey Turner has a hamstring strain and we're screwed? Or this is just a pitch for Brad if he's listening. Like, you should definitely have Scott Fransky audio being like, one thing about Zach Wheeler.
does not have any blood clots.
His veins are clean.
Yeah.
Clean as the stat sheet. Anyway, it's just like every single thing is really bad and he doesn't run from that.
Yes.
Like up to and including moments that are played for more comedic effect, like what I was referring to when Robbie is just grooving to his tunes shirtless and pilfering his niece's room for some sweet dubage.
Yeah.
And she comes home with a hookup and he's in the closet.
Yeah. I want to get to the performances in a second because there's not a ton of plot. There's not a lot to unpack in terms of like, ooh, what do you think this means? And what do you think that happens here? The beats the beats are the beats that I laid out earlier. I wanted to talk a little bit about the characters and the performances, but the first character I want to talk about is the setting.
Happy to do that.
And I weirdly was just in Upper Darby for business, but I wanted to know, like, we grew up in Philadelphia in separate parts of the city.
Yeah.
I was like closer to the art museum and like in the city
and culture.
That's right. Just the vibrancy of it.
I was more of a quarry jumper,
kind of a left bank guy. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Delco, Montgomery County, and like that area, because I think one thing that would be useful for our listeners who aren't locals, and any locals who are listening to us, I spent a lot of time geographically mapping references from this show,
including Easttown makes a quick cameo.
Exactly.
Shared universe time.
It's been suggested that it could be a possibility. What is it about this area that you think is a good backdrop for this kind of show?
Well, particularly just going off of what was the way that Jeremiah Zagar's shooting the show.
Yep.
What I immediately responded to and with familiarity, and I'm not from Chester, I'm not from Delco, but like, it's so green.
Yes.
And it's so weirdly, especially when shot this way, jarringly pastoral, jarringly rustic almost. You feel the age in a different way than you do in like old city, center city, right? Like their houses are a certain age, but it feels...
Well, the townships will have like a strip and it'll be like 3 dive bars and an Acme, and then you make a right turn and drive up a hill and you were in the woods.
Yes, and there's a farmhouse, or there might be... I mean, I've never... Shaq meme, I was not familiar with Quarry's game. Like, I didn't know that was an option for me.
Yeah, my wife was like, how come you didn't take me here? And I was like...
because we didn't want our hearts to explode.
I did, first of all, it's just like, I didn't know it existed. And second of all, I don't know if you and me and then Robbie and his family would be like jumping...
Ew! See you Friday. What if you... But also you as a former lifeguard.
Yeah, are you that guy from the Rewatchables?
Pretty good.
It's pretty fucking funny.
You as a former lifeguard, though, I don't know if you would have approved of the health and safety setup at the quarry.
I mean, look, there's one guy who found out where the rocks were in that place when he dove in, and everybody else is like, you got to go past that.
Got a little bit, keep going.
Yeah. You're going to take a run and start.
I thought, there's like a haunted rural...
You got it, man. Look, I know this is crazy. I wrote this down in my document, but the quarry... Especially the shot in the beginning of the episode where Robbie's kids all jump on Raul Castillo when he comes in the door. It kind of has a little bit of the Tree of Life Terrence Malick dusk, where it's like it's all around us, the magic, and like there's all these different POV, like perspective shots where it's like that when he comes in, it's shot from like almost the kid's height.
Yeah,
and how these kids must look at the adults in the house as giants and as like these playful giant. Like,
here's something that matters about this show, and I think it was in Mare too, is that like this show is very, very comfortable speaking in a language visually or in terms of the script with sadness and beauty that both exist. There's a moment when Maeve and Robbie have this big confrontation, and he's like, I didn't know you were so unhappy. He's shout out Pelphrey.
Yeah, we're gonna shout Pelphrey.
Shout out Pelphrey. Shout out Saquon. She's like, I am very, very unhappy.
Yeah.
And it is like existentially bone chilling because that is just, there's nothing else to say. There's no cute follow up. There's no like parentheses about if only she could go to art school or whatever. It is an absolute make it worse, rock in a hard place situation.
Yeah, think about
when the guy who comes over is like, what do you do? Do you want, she's like, I don't do anything. I don't do anything. And that kind of like ennui and opportunity, lack of opportunity, and just sunk into the soil kind of cost of a place that is old and beautiful, but what are we doing with it? Just permeates every frame.
Well, it's also what families can do. It's like families are the places where you find yourself like all of a sudden performing roles that you never assumed you never imagined you would. Yeah. And families are also the only arena where you're allowed to be like openly hostile and still live with the person. Like where you're allowed to be like, this fucking sucks. Now I'm going into this room.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I guess I have to leave. I've just made a scene, I think that you really put your finger on something. Ingelsby has obviously set 2 shows here now. and there is something beautiful about it. And then you have to ask, like, what's hidden behind the beauty? You know, what is hidden in those woods? What is hidden, like, these stash houses that are a little bit off the road, you know, or up the hill or whatever. Even the nature of like how Robbie's brother's house that they're all living in seems to be like it's in a like a tree house somewhere, you know, like it's just there are chickens and it's just like this beautifully hidden away spot. But what is the emotional pain that's like behind the walls that's in those places? And I think he's very attuned to that.
And where do the people go who keep leaving?
Yeah.
You know, like it's very, there's a very affecting moment when, again, like make it worse. Like Robbie and Maeve have this very intense argument. And then when Maeve goes in the house, of course, Robbie's daughter's listening.
Yeah. And she's
says,
like, don't leave.
Don't leave.
Yeah.
And we know.
Yeah.
We know A, that she won't, and B, we know why she won't.
This is the stuff Bruce Springsteen songs are made of, you know, like I just got to get out of here and I can't.
He looked pretty good at the U.S. Open, though.
Was he there?
Seems like he got out.
Is he in Severance?
He might be. He definitely looked like he'd had some of that baby goat treatment. He looked like the weight of letting go.
He's getting ready for award season for Deliver Me From Nowhere.
No, but yes, but also maybe the release.
Did you see the fucking Electric Nebraska coming out?
The release of Electric Nebraska has de-aged him.
He's de-aged like, me.
Burden. I was going to ask you about that.
I listened to that Born in the USA. I was like, we're fucking back.
There was the shot at the U.S. Open. It was Mindy Kaling and BJ Novak still doing the most fun will they or won't they ever. Bruce Springsteen, I believe his daughter was there. Pink and her motocross.
This is all in a row?
They were all in a box together. And then professional BFFs, Sting and Shaggy, who were just like...
homies?
They were like doing a big reggae fest at the Mann Center in Philadelphia. Right about that, Brad Ingelsby. But it's just weird. We're just like, okay. Sting and Shaggy.
Every week we should challenge Brad Ingelsby to really tell the truth.
Tell the truth, Brad. Has he seen the video of the guy leaving Lincoln Financial Field after the game? Who's just like, I can't say any of the words he uses to describe his feelings about the Eagles' win.
Yeah.
But he is all of us. Where's he in your show, Brad?
All right, let's talk about a couple of these performances. You know, Ruffalo is the biggest name in the show, but I want to start with Pelphrey, who's a longtime CR guy. Like I've been really, really locked in on him for a minute. Obviously,
can I just say, like, or on the way in, you were saying that I was incorrectly Columbusing a restaurant in London.
Yes.
Can I say that I do think, if I've run the numbers, that I do think I like Tom Pelphrey in Banshee before he was on Ozark.
Andy, I defer to you. You're right. You have mentioned Banshee more than any other show on this podcast.
I talk about Bluey sometimes.
I just haven't watched it, and you're right.
Thank you.
I was looking at Tom Pelphrey's IMDb, and I was like, no shit, he was on Banshee.
a big lacune there in his CV for old CR, but it's cool. He's real good in it. It's fine.
Pelphrey, obviously, mind-blowing in his Ozark arc that he had in season 2, I believe, and very, very good in Mank. Outer Range, I don't know that they really used him to his full abilities. The thing that jumps off the screen when you see him in Task is that it feels like he has been this character for his whole life.
It's a great call.
And then the camera turned on. Like the moment that I referenced earlier with him and Cliff, talking about like dating, I was like, this guy knows it. It just feels like he is wearing this dude's skin. It is unreal. Like he has possessed this character already. And like we could do accent Olympics all day with these characters. I find it really interesting that the amount of Brits who are in it, just because, or Irish and British actors.
I do want to talk about that.
Because I wonder whether or not it's almost easier for them to be like, I have to do a new accent anyway, so I can get to Philly easier than someone who's not from Philly.
It's fascinating.
And I kind of wonder whether that's a thing. But we'll talk about the supporting characters. Robbie being this like emotionally vulnerable, but like I am a fucking urban lumberjack, like strongman it's just a beautiful portrayal so far. And it's all in his eyes. And it was like that in Ozark as this guy who was tilting off his meds and descending into madness, even though he was in a completely crazy situation that almost justified his madness. Robbie's kind of the pain in his eyes never goes away. And I just thought you don't have to do that. There are a lot of actors who are like, that's not what this scene's about. Or like, it's like every single moment that guy has, you feel like he's like carrying something really, really heavy.
I think it's really important to shout out the casting here because, again, there's a nuance to it. You say it's a big, exciting, dramatic, maybe awards baity two-hander coming from HBO. Obviously, a project like that goes to the top talent lists at all the agencies. I really admire the way they cast two very different actors who use what they bring perfectly. Ruffalo is a very talented, like technical actor and has been amazing in a lot of things. But in this, one of the things we're sort of resting on is his just natural, lived-in charisma. He's not, as you said, he's not doing accent. He's not really turning it up past the point of like a couple vodkas. Okay, a lot of vodkas. He's steadying, which is the role and kind of what you want from that figure on the scale.
Yeah.
Pelphrey's part, he is an industry favorite. People who have seen him, no matter when they first saw him, let's just say, love him and understand his abilities. But I have to say, and I don't mean to do a drive-by here, but if this was an Apple show, I think it would be an equally famous actor to Ruffalo playing the other half of it. And that might take away from the lived-in nature of it.
You don't even, I mean, you're welcome to do a drive-by. It's your car. I would say, I just think that like, there's a lack of vanity in both of these performances.
For sure, but I don't want to say one's better than the other, but I'm just saying
no,
the show
but like they're
works,
doing
the balance
something
works.
really interesting where it's like Ruffalo is essentially like, what would a guy who's obviously been through an unspeakable yet to be kind of articulated tragedy, how would he carry himself? The booze is like sticking to him. He looks like he always has his eyes like halfway closed. Every probably moment of his daily life is either a humiliation or a heartbreak. Like he's either like, I'm sitting here in a fucking career fair handing out pamphlets. Like, so this is my career's over. Or I'm meeting with people about my son's sentencing and whether or not members of my family are going to give witness impact statements or family impact statements. So like there's not a good part of his day other than the moment where he sees a bird or the moment where the alcohol probably kicks in.
Yep.
And then he pays for it the next day. For Robbie, he's like, look, like there's a degree to which it's funny how much this episode of Task is essentially the same beat for beat as the opening episode of Dope Thief.
I wondered if we'd talk about it. It's actually kind of shocking.
Well, it is pretty shocking. Obviously there's like stories about this in the greater Philadelphia area that interest these people.
And to be clear, we're not, when we say shocking, not like, oh my God, there was plagiarism here. Absolutely not. No. But the degree to which they are almost the same. It's like
two guys who bring on a third guy.
A third guy who's not going to be with us for long to go to a rural part outside of Philadelphia and it goes badly. Go on.
To be hunted by a driven but haunted law enforcement agent, but the act of robbing drug dealers is an interesting piece of, I don't know if it's plot armor. I don't know if I'm using the term correctly there, but it does create morally an attachment for the viewer because you're like, well, this seems like something that it's like, there's no victim in this crime.
It's Robin Hood-ish.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know that he is donating that money back to charities. I mean, it seems like he's providing for his family. But I was reading an interview with Ingelsby and Emilia Jones and Pelphrey on Deadline last night. And Pelphrey's just like, this guy is not a bad guy and he's not doing anything wrong. About the first episode.
Classic Giants fan.
He is a New York Giants fan. What did you think of... I mean, obviously, we're going to probably be introduced to the Dark Hearts at some point, who I think will pose a slightly heavier villain.
There's also a biker gang in Dope Thief.
That's right. That's right. But like the idea, you know what I mean? The idea that like if you're robbing stash houses, are you really robbing anybody?
Right.
You know?
I mean, I think what the reason this works for me in a different way, and again, they were different projects with different aims, and Dope Thief allowed Brian Tyree Henry to go to some really phenomenal places, and I was glad he was nominated for an Emmy next week for his performance. But it was a lot more popcorn at times. It was a lot more devoted to the banter and the friendship stuff. And it was a lot of like, extremity Jenga of like, well, you won't believe how crazy this thing is going to get next. This show, because of its tone, its tenor, its emotional interest in things, and the fact that, like we were saying, it's not really written as a star vehicle, seems just very focused on the idea of a community, what we owe each other, what we owe ourselves, what is available to us within the economy that has been left to us, right? Like, I think that aspect of it is really interesting, that there's a talk about, I thought one of the smaller moments that lingers is in that same online dating conversation when Robbie is showing Cliff, like, with the money we get, and we don't know that yet, but we could get unspoiled wilderness in Canada and basically start
an
over.
island,
And Cliff says, who picks up the trash?
Right.
And the idea that, like, there's municipal services, newly relevant in Philadelphia, I would say, although it seems like maybe they've come to some sort of SEPTA agreement.
Have they?
Yeah, but like fares are going up, but service is being restored.
Okay.
We can do that for our next, what if our like eye on the street local news version of this podcast? Because the one thing about this podcast, people are always like, it's too general interest.
Yeah.
You guys cast too wide a net. You should focus more.
We got super into abundance. Yeah.
Don't tempt me with a good time. I've got thoughts. But like the idea that this stuff is supposed to work, and that was baked into Mare of Easttown in a really, I thought, effective way too. Like, everyone was connected to someone who is connected to some other person who is part of a problem, either on one side of it or the other. Like, no one goes untouched.
Sure.
Right. And whether it's whether you're on the crime fighters or the side of crime, like, these are porous boundaries and everybody's kind of under the same boot heel. And I think that aspect of it is going to be interesting going forward.
Yeah, everybody's got a boss. That was like, it's like Ruffalo is the boss of this task force that he puts together, but Kathleen McGinty is his boss, and she's already like, I've been told I can't.
Put out to pasture.
Yeah, I'm being put out to pasture. It's like, it goes up, it just rolls downhill.
Could we talk about the kids?
Yep, the task force?
In the show. The task force, but first, can we just take a moment for Emilia Jones? If you told me, you could have given me 10 guesses as to what I had seen this actor in before, and I would have never gotten it.
I've never seen Coda. Like, I just know the name.
Was that the Best Picture winner that you were like, it's COVID, I'm good. I don't need to engage with it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's very good in it, but okay. I did not know that this was part of her game.
The other thing that's really cool is you could take everything that you say about Pelphrey and apply it to Jones. She is this person. Like, I mean, it's probably an incredible performance. The haircut, the accent, the piercings, the I got old way too young look in her eyes. Like,
her accent is flawless. Her vibe is flawless. Yes. We have all met this person before. She's a force of nature from the second she appears on screen, and the way that it's not just the way Robbie relates to this character with this mix of like, I am in charge here, but also I know that I am not. It's the way that Pelphrey clearly respects what she's bringing in these scenes that brings something else out of him. Yeah. I think she's astonishing. And, in a way, she is like an interesting, if you watch this show it's not a sequel to Mare of Easttown, but it's the next chapter in what Brad's doing in this world and this type of storytelling. And so in a way, it's like a iteration of the character Angourie Rice played, the daughter who was in the band that played all the Mannequin Pussy songs.
Yes.
Like, it's a really fascinating, deeper iteration of that character in a way that I'm really, really responding to. I think she's amazing. This
kind of character could be a type. It could be not window dressing, but like in the background, and the entire thing is just about Robbie and like what Robbie's going through. But Jeremiah Zagar makes some cool choices in terms of the coverage that he does, where sometimes it'll be a scene that you should probably be following Robbie through, and it'll stay with Maeve, and it'll stay like on her reactions to his behavior.
Yeah.
So that it becomes like way more of an ensemble piece that way.
And that's the exact antidote to what you were saying about the way these are not Ronin. It is not Heat for that reason.
Their behavior is affecting other people.
what if Heat, but from Amy Brenneman's perspective?
That's right.
A necessary corrective, if you
I
will.
actually, no, never mind.
'Cause my daughter saw the musical and Juliet yesterday. It's touring, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's like
Romeo and Juliet.
They loved it.
Juliet's
but it's like,
POV, right?
But it's also like it starts like a play within a play, and Shakespeare's wife was like, "This sucks. Let me do it."
Big year for Shakespeare's play.
Big year for their whole family.
Or his wife,
I know. By the way, it's 8 a.m. I'm like, Chloe Zhao has a new film at TIFF this year called Hamnet. My children are like, please stop.
Why? That's relevant information.
I know. They were interested.
Uh-huh.
They were like, Hamnet's a dumb name. I'm like, well, put some respect on it, because anyway.
He invented this whole shit.
It's all his.
Yeah.
But then they were like, it's a jukebox musical, Max Martin songs. And Max Martin wrote and produced Life of a Showgirl. Anyway, do you think that like within our lifetime, will someone be like, do the feminist corrective to Heat about Amy Brenneman's character?
I think that if you let me and Bill pod long enough, we will do
We'll
it.
get there.
Yeah.
I believe in you. Okay, so then I do want to talk about the scene of, so Ruffalo cleans out this house, although not well enough to welcome in these kids in the task force. And it is wild to me, and I wanted to get your sense of the accent stuff about it, because the 3 recruits, none of them are American actors. And they are all coming to this accent and to this world cult.
Yes.
So I do think there's something to your point about, also because apparently the Philadelphia accent and the Baltimore accent are unique because of the ports in these cities that Cockney ship workers, that's why it sounds like that, for whatever reason.
Okay, David
so it's
Alberson.
an easier way. I find this fascinating. It's like,
it is. You're right. You're right.
that like something Cockney, East London to Baltimore works. So
Sure.
I don't know. But anyway, we have Fabian Frankel, who's your guy from House of the Dragon, who is
Honestly, he is my
English.
guy.
I know.
He is my guy now.
Own it. He's
Anthony
English.
Grasso. Yeah.
Tusum Bedu is South African.
Mhm.
And they do make a point of saying like she moved to the area, which maybe gives her
That's
a little
sick.
bit of
Yeah.
a break. And then Allison Oliver,
Normie Peeps.
no, from Convies with Friends.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Normal People is the mascot. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things worked out for those stars of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Allison Oliver was Convies with Fs, and also The Order, the Jude Law starring film that I watched that we never talked
Oh,
about.
yeah.
She was in that.
I love that you watching something
Well, because when I do
necessitates the conversation.
because like I just want which camera's on. I want the record to show that sometimes you're like, oh, you might really enjoy it. I'm like, oh, okay. And then
that
like the
happens
camera
like
follows me
once a
home.
year, and it's always like The Order, and it's not weapons.
That's fair. But that was like, watch Miyazaki, and you were like, I watched Porco Rosso over the shoulder of a 3-year-old once.
Shout out to local Philadelphia meteorologist Cecily Tynan. We're monitoring a low pressure system with Allison Oliver.
By the
She
way-
might fucking, when she's on the phone outside, I don't know if she hits every single accent note, but she is definitely a girl that I have met from Philadelphia, larger Philadelphia area.
Sir, you have been on the receiving end of that phone call.
No, I haven't.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, maybe in my youth.
Yeah, when in your younger days.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cast aspersions.
No, I had an incredible run of not getting dumped for a while, so.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, do we think, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember, like,
I think that they were living, the characters in this show
Yeah.
are living together, and like he's now come over to get all
but
their
there's
shit.
no evidence that that he was dumped.
I don't
He may
think
have dumped he may have dumped her, but he's like, can I get my stuff?
Yes, I think that's what we're
Now,
supposed to believe.
the CR brain's like, can't get dumped if I've already moved all my stuff out. And so she comes home, and it's just like the Will Smith meme in the empty house in Bel Air. That's how you get them. Never been dumped.
Yeah, but if you only have like, if you're like, I need this ottoman, or I need this like whatever.
We need we need that one chair from IKEA that we all had.
Oh my God.
I need that.
Until I was 35, I had nothing. I was the Ronin. You know what I mean? I was still like, I have a bunch of Raucous Records white label 12 inches and an Xbox. That's all I need.
Until you were 30?
Until I moved here. Yeah.
First of all, you've made it very clear on numerous pods that your entire shit is liquid. You can go at any time. You began the pod last week, I don't remember if we were recording it or not, saying, can't cancel me now, I have nothing to lose. So And we even on this pod, you were like, yeah, fuck it. I'll root for the American in the U.S. Open final, and you'll never be able to prove that I did. You're a fucking whisper in the wind, man. Own it.
Allison Oliver is doing things in that front yard on the phone where we're just very, very aware of it.
Is it a Cecily Tynan thing or is it a John Belarus thing?
I'm more of a Cecily person.
Is it a Hurricane Schwartz kind of thing?
Were you a Belarus guy?
No, have you been following the Belarus story since?
Oh, he had a rough exit, right?
He's still making the gossip column.
Okay.
So like, it is a wild thing. It is a very specific level of fame to be Philadelphia weatherman famous.
Are you so post everything digital that you don't? Did you ever have a personal relationship to a local weather person growing up? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did. Cron 4 News was my local.
Cron 4 News.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what the weather person's name was?
Oh my God, no, I don't. But I do remember.
I guess when it's in the Bay Area, what's the point of looking at the weather? Like, it's just going to be.
It's 50 degrees and foggy every day.
Yeah.
So,
like, Belarus has been banned from numerous restaurants now. He's like called out people's personal lives who own restaurants. Like, it's quite a.
Really?
Yeah. What I'm saying is Lizzie has John Belarus energy.
I gotcha.
But we should probably.
You think she's been kicked out of a cheesecake factory once or twice?
A Rouge on Rittenhouse Square. I'm just saying, I think that we need a professional meteorologist monitoring her barometric pressure.
She's incredible.
But she has Belarus energy.
Frankel is doing very well. It's a really good ensemble. And as a pilot episode goes, I really respected.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do character beats with like upwards of 12 people, including like just a tender but haunted Rita's water ice between father and daughter.
Yeah.
Black cherry?
Yeah, that's what he got.
And do you approve?
Look,
you're a lemon guy.
It's very on. No, what?
What are you?
No, I'm not a Rita. Like, Rita's kind of mid.
Well, what's your water? Do you have a water ice of choice?
Yeah, John's.
Okay.
And then, honestly, the chocolate water ice is amazing.
See, everybody's been talking about the chocolate water ice.
Is incredible. But also, like in the summer, John's has like fresh fruits. And whatever they have on the board, you get that. You get yourself down there. You tell them John Belarus sent you. Actually, do not do that. You will not be served a water ice. Yeah. You know who else we have to shout out, though, before we... Isaac Debenkole.
Yeah.
Great veteran actor from like every Jim Jarmusch movie.
Yes.
Showing up as Daniel, who's the priest, who's the guy who's stuck with it.
Who's got some cool Catholic literary journals he wants to share.
And a taste for the Yingling,
yeah.
which I respected. By the way, cool. Shout out Yingling in the show. I see the Rolling Rock monopoly. Big RR has been broken.
I think Ingelsby knew, like, I can't just pretend like everybody only drinks RR.
Do you think like the checks stopped coming from old Latrobe?
I'm just bummed that Kenwood couldn't get a shout, but maybe Kenwood isn't hitting in Upper Darby. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kenwood's a good local beer. Anything else you want to say about Task?
This is fun to talk about. It's fun to have in our lives. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, let us know if you guys have questions. The watch at Spotify.com. If you want me to detail which travel baseball Little League fields I've played at in Delco, I can. Talk about my slash line.
Yeah. Which one almost caused your heart to explode? The show, it's exciting. It was an exciting show. Like even the action sequence was very, very gripping. It was well shot. We got to
get those masks.
Oh, you mean you want them back? When you and Zach came over wearing them for the Eagles game, I thought it was weird, but I was happy to have you come in.
It's just my Anasimova mask. Thanks to Kaya, who's back.
And congratulations to Kaya.
Thanks to John.
Good job.
And we'll be back on Thursday to talk about Alien.
I don't think he's going to watch Dystopia anymore, Kaya. I think life has turned a page for him.
Yeah.
No, he's really committed to the genre.
Okay.
Talk to you.
And now you are as well.
See you guys on Thursday.